Hello and welcome to another preview video. This time we will have a look at a tactical RPG called Lost Eidolons by a company called Ocean Drive Studio Inc. And they are the developer and the publisher of the game, and as far as I understand it's a Korean company, but this game is very Western looking. The release is planned for the third quarter of 2022, and we will have a look at a demo version which was released in this Steam Next Fest and is only available, well, at least according to plan, until the 20th of June. So if you want to have a look, then make sure to check it out as soon as possible. You'll find a link down in the video description, and this demo version is based on the closed beta 2 version, as they call it. And that version and the demo has a total playtime of about 10 hours, but I will not make a 10-hour video now, but I will show you instead a couple of segments just so that you get an impression of the game. And if you're interested, you can then go download the demo version and check it out for yourself. So, and with that, and of course that's all a beta version, because I mean the game is still in development and there's still stuff to be changed in the game. Developers already working on some stuff. So of course I will mention a couple of things which I think will need to be improved, but also keep in mind that this is still a beta and some of the stuff will also still is still being worked on. So, and with that, let's jump into the game. So first up, we will have a look into the settings before we start a new game, and you can see that these are split up between gameplay controls, graphics, language, audio. Language is obviously set to English. I already adjusted the audio, nothing special in there. Graphics is also very minimalistic. I set it to full screen by turning windowed mode off, which is standard on. Controls, I'm not sure if you can, okay, some of these are static, some of these you can set, I think. There's also gamepad controls, and it seems like this game is heavily focusing on gamepad controls, unfortunately. So the mouse keyboard controls, they are not that great yet at the moment. Maybe they're getting improved. The gamepad controls I can't judge. I never play. I don't even have a gamepad, so I can't tell. The tutorials I have set to off. I will just explain everything. Autosave. For the difficulty, I think the calculations for the hard difficulty are off, so I would recommend to play on normal, even though normally I play on the hardest difficulty available, but in this case I recommend to play on normal. And then there are a couple of other settings which I will go into more detail later. And now we start a new game. And again, we set the difficulty, but as mentioned, just start on normal. And then we have game mode, which is called casual, which is a bit weird casual and permadeath. I'm not sure, like permadeath says characters who fall in battle cannot participate in future battles. Main characters will still appear in camps and cutscenes. So they are not purged from the game. They're still continuing the story, but you will not be able to use them anymore. So I'm not sure. I mean, the developers mentioned somewhere that the game is supposed to be like 40 hours long. So might not be the best idea to play on permadeath, but some people like it for the additional tension. So yeah, there are probably even on permadeath some options to redo stuff, so I can't judge it now yet. That's also grayed out, so for the demo you will not be able to use that, so I recommend starting on normal and casual. And now it's kind of, where's the start button, right? But this is like because it's gamepad optimized. On any normal PC game you would have something to click on with the mouse, but now you have to actually press spacebar, which is weird. So, we start the game within a battle, actually.
These are the traitors who led Isoro to his death. Hunt them down and give no quarter.
Damn. How many of these guys are there? We have to break through their lines now! There's no time for hesitation!
Reach the objective. So, and this is all we need to do. So it's not necessary to kill everyone. We just need to get there. And it's also not possible to just kill everyone here. It's just too much. So what we need to do is to kill that one and get past these, and that's it. So you have seen the main communication in the game, which is with these text fields and some character displayed, which is actually animated in decent 3D. So that's the main communication between the characters. The main story progress is made in that way, but there's also some other communication going on. So the combat itself, let me quickly reduce the audio just a little bit more. Actually, alright, that's maybe better. So, characters, the movement or action system is a bit weird in that sense that no other game is doing it that way, as far as I know. Usually, for example, in the simplest system, like with Phyrexis XCOM, you have a 2-action system, but you can use both actions to move, which you cannot do here. Basically, what you can do here is move and attack, or just attack, or anything else. But you cannot convert the second, the attack into an additional movement. So you can just move one time with the character. For example, I can go there now. And then I need to pick the attack. One cool thing is that I can just right click and that will also reset the move. So I can undo this action as long as I did not attack. It's it's not really counting. So now I'm attacking and you can see that I'm actually doing 23 damage on the warrior, and he will attack back and do 7 damage on me. And then it switches over to this 3D fighting scene, which is a bit odd with all these characters standing around. It looks cool, yes, but I think it would be better to not have it, because it also has this... It enforces this split somehow, that you are playing in 2 different worlds. The game which comes to mind where this is also the case is actually Battle Isle 2 and maybe also Battle Isle 3, I'm not sure. But in that game it's visualized with this laptop closing, and then you see the animation and then the laptop closes again and you're back. So it's like embedded into the game, while this looks kind of weird, I think. It looks cool, but it's a bit... Yeah, it creates some split between the combat area and the... So now, and the, this fighting zone. So in this case, for example, I can't do anything else, so what I need to do now is to wait. I will do the same here. You can see the white squares are the ones which I can reach by moving. I think usually it shows like the red squares, they are the ones which I can attack to. I'm not quite sure what the green ones are. This is also some kind of tutorial area. So here you have more abilities than you will have in the real start of the game. It's a bit of also a weird start, because the tutorial, while it explains the things, it confronts you with some elements. Like the level confronts you with these elements before they're actually explained sometimes. So this is just AI killing AI, basically. I will go into, like, now you can see everyone cheering in the background. Again, this looks kind of cool, but you're thinking like, where are these guys? It's but you can also see on the map we are playing that this is kind of symbolized. Like, all the buildings, they are small. When they are fighting in 3D, it's actually rendered as a real environment. So yeah, it's a weird style, choice of style, which I guess you need to get used to. Alright, so we should get past these. What you can also see is that this guy has a red armor now, which means that he, with his sword, will do more damage against that type of armor. So it makes sense to attack him with a sword. So let's do that with this character. He also has a sword. Now, I mentioned with the options menu that I wanted to go into more details there, and this is actually a great moment to do that, because this 3D sequence looks kind of cool, but it's also taking a lot of time, right? And now you have the option to speed everything up, but unfortunately that's really everything. So if I go into the gameplay, you can play battle animation at 2 times the speed, and you can skip the battle animations. Maybe that's, but let's set this to 2 times speed for now. Now, oh yeah, I need to get into the controls as well. Now I move this character there and attack. This looks just odd, I think, but it also... Actually, I'm not... Yeah.
That's far enough. Eden, did you think I'd let you escape so easily?
Alistar!
I'll start with you. And then I'll kill the rest of my uncle's enemies.
Damn it. Words aren't getting through to him. We don't have time to deal with Ballastar! If you don't want to die here, run like your life depends on it!
So I think the voice acting is decent. The animations are also, and how the characters look is also fine. But now you can see they are all racing on the map as well in high speed, and this looks just kind of stupid. But there's no way to just speed the one thing up and to keep the other one as is. Your turn. So now we go back to the settings and deactivate that and activate the skip battle animations. So Mr. Rubia is almost dead, and he also can't do anything to get out of that, I guess. Let's go there for now and attack him from the back. Yeah, now everything was skipped. I mean, it's a little bit like the issue you also have in Civilization, where the question is, do you want to skip it? But I want to see like just one character hitting the other. That would be perfect. But so you always have either the whole sequence or nothing. It's not ideal, I think. So he will not die, unfortunately. No matter whom we use to attack, he will all. Yeah. This is not really satisfying, so I turned off that as well. And I will just go there and defend. Actually, combat skills, what do we have here? Piercing wave? No. We just defend and maybe he will be able to survive the hit by the one character. And this one is that. No. You can also see on the portraits whether or not I already took my turn. So you can also see that there is magic in the game, and there are also monsters in the game. It's not purely a medieval setting, it's also a fantasy mix. Maybe a bit like The Witcher, that it's a very like low kind or dark kind of fantasy. Oh, critical. Francisco is toast. Robert is also toast. Oh.
The way is clear. Push through with everything you've got.
Yeah, not that clear, but yeah.
We've made it this far. Now all we have to do is...
Oh, Eden. Did you really think it would be that easy?
Ballastar.
That's far enough. I'll start with you. And then I'll kill the rest of my uncle's enemies.
Brother, get out of here. No matter what it takes, we're going to survive and avenge him.
That was cool, right? The really high quality cutscenes. And no, this is of course not the end. Now we will continue the campaign, but I will just show you a little bit of that now. This is like how the story is progressing here now.
And then what happened? Oh, they say that after the festivities had come to an end, the Emperor was never seen again. Some believe he has passed away.
Others believe he has ascended to godhood.
What's that supposed to mean? Is he dead or what? No, wait, it's almost over.
Come on. You've heard that fairy tale 1,000 times.
So I will pause that for now. So this is how the story, at least in this part, the story is progressing. I think the voice actors are at least decent, if not good, but and the animations are good and the characters look fine. But there is some, I think, yeah. Sometimes the animations, they look a bit robotic, a bit uncanny with this realism. And the other thing which is a bit, which I think could be improved, is that the delay between the different sentences is too high. So everything feels a bit stretched out. So I will get back to the so you can skip the dialogues, but
Exactly. I want to know what happens next.
Who cares? It's got nothing to do with us.
1,
Speaking
2,
of us, where's Leon?
1, 2, 3,
Last I saw him, he was in the square.
1, 2.
Oh, what's the matter?
So
You
there's
two fighting again?
the delay between these, like, sentence to sentence is too high. It's not super much, but because there is so much going on, so much back and forth between the characters, it really adds up, and it feels like you kind of I mean, the story is nice, and it's not like they are just rambling around. But because of this back and forth and because of this additional delay, it feels like it's dragging on and you kind of lose interest during the conversation. Also because you as the player, you don't have any interaction within the dialogue. So everything is automatic. You cannot choose any dialogue options or anything. That's the whole story thing here is progressing linear, at least at that point. And I will make a cut now, and then we will get to a later part in the game, and I will tell you a bit more about how the story element of the game is working. So here we are a little bit later in the game, and we are in a camp, and in here we can also move around with the character. So don't misinterpret this as like open world or something like that. This is really just our camp. So when we are in camp mode, like here, we can run around in our camp in a third-person view, and we can talk to our people. That's a bit like in other games. For example, I think in the first Dragon Age game, where you can just click on the different characters. And in fact, we can actually do that as well here. So I can open up the map, and I can just teleport to each character. So for example, right now we have the quests like In It Together, check in with Sarah and pass out the food, report to Rebir. So I go here, we go to Rebir, and now I will just chat with him, talk about food distribution. And in here, the main quest, I think, is voiced, and the side quests are not voiced. I'm not sure if that's going to change, but I assume it's not. So, again, the dialogues are full automatic. What they are saying is actually showing in the animation and so on of the character. So it's not like, I mean, you can, if we are just checking something here, You can also skip forward to the next thing with escape, but automatically it's like the time is enough for it to be spoken, which I think is nice as a Let's Player, for example, that you have enough time to read it. But I assume that it might be a bit annoying if you're reading all the texts. I'm not 100% sure. But this is just... I mean, it also depends on the playstyle, of course. And how open you are to reading the stuff. And for example, maybe you could compare it also to a bit to a visual novel. And it's maybe not even a bad comparison if you had compared that with a visual novel, but then with RPG and of course tactical elements. So now we have this check with Sarah, and we go to Sarah and we check with her. So regarding the story, we are actually...
Sarah.
Now you see this is voiced.
He deserved it. I know he did. So why? Why can't I stop trembling? Sarah.
So, yeah. Now we have leave camp, chapter complete. Then now there's nothing more to do, and we will progress to the additional dialogue sequences and the next combat, basically. So the game is very linear. I also asked in the chat, and the developers also confirmed that it will stay linear for the most part. There will apparently be some side quests, but the game will be much more linear than I guess like King Arthur or so, where you have tons of side missions and choose yourself which mission to do next and so on. And this camp is not just for talking though, we can also do some other stuff in here. So if I press tab, you can also see on the top lots of different options. Again, this is seems to be very controller based. And this is unfortunate because it also, and not just controller, maybe also console based, that you're playing it on a TV. It's very spread out, the information. So in here, for example, we have the characters, stats, equipment, affinities. And now you would think like, how do I switch between the characters? Yeah. Well, you find the answer in the bottom right. There's a C for character list, but you really have to press the C button on your keyboard to go there, and now you can choose the character and switch over. Or you press Q and E. And this is something you don't do on like PC games usually. It might be a normal on controller where you are not pointing on your character, but you're just forward, 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 forward until you get the right character. Or to select the right item, you don't click on an item, but you get next, 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 and then you select the item, right? That's basically how controller controls work if you look at Skyrim or other games. And this is coming with an interface which then for the PC it's really not desirable. And you can see that now here you got the equipment, an equipment window and affinities, but then you have a second thing which is again an equipment window where you have the equipment, but now you still don't know what equipment do I have left. Where you can find that? Well, that's in the third equipment window over here. So here you can see that there's a sword, and this sword has stats of 5. And, well, this might be a good sword and might be better than someone's sword, but how would you know? So whose sword should be replaced by that? Well, you can go to this sword filter, and now you can see all the swords the others have, and you can try to find them and compare them. Oh, well, this is just a common sword, so this is not actually better. But it's really not very comfortable to compare items. If you find anything new, it will probably always be a pain to see who could actually use that item best and so on. So I hope that regarding interface, they will improve some stuff, but I fear that they will keep focusing on the controls as main input device, and it will stay like that. And maybe they add a little bit to compensate for the overview, which is not that great, but we'll see. So we have a class tree. Now actually, if a character has the requirements for a different class, then it can switch classes or increase classes. So again, I need to use Q and E to switch through the characters, right? So for example, this is before you can actually I think I would need to go 1 or 2 missions further, then I can actually select the characters. I did that already. And then you can, not characters, classes, and then you can select, okay, I am becoming a knight or fighter or whatever, and actually a squire, exactly. And there are requirements like you either need sword 3 or plated armor 2 or spear 3 and plated armor 2. And these are also like in here, also with the interface, it's not that great for that, but yeah, so there is some kind of classes, and you move further down, and you can see that you get some bonuses when you reach that class, and you also get additional skills. And I think once you are there, you might also progress further. I'm not sure if you can go to Squire and then switch to Warrior. If you are Squire, you need to go for Knight. But because there's nothing which comes before Priest, I guess you can switch whenever you want. The experience is also tracked by class, so yeah, it's increasing separately. Then with the skills, it's also a bit oddly separated. So for example, these are all skills, Sterling Resilience. Now I need to go into equipped skills, but there's 2 skills I have which are in the available skills. So I go to the equipped skills, I check these 2, and now they are also in the all skills and available in combat. I think the all skills are the ones which are always active, like the passive skills, and the equipped skills are then added to that, and they are not automatically populated. So if you learn something new, you need to go through all these characters and select the newly gained skills, which also is something I think it should fill up automatically whenever you get new skills, at least as long as the list is not full. But yeah, because of the overview, again, it's not, the overview is not great. Then you have got the Grimoire, which is like the spell book of your casters, and I think that's really a cool overview here about what this spell is doing, the range, and so on. And you basically, for each skill and also for each spell, you have a limited amount of uses during combat, and you can have a look at that here, and you can see, okay, this guy has Fireball, Tempest Guts, and for the additional slots, you must actually become join the Mage class. And you can also like unequip, and then you can select, okay, I want to go Hydro Bomb or something. And Pillar of Fire, that's actually nice. So you might want to take something which has the three fields of range. So you can see uses per battle 3 or 4. Right, so there's that. Then you have the items, And in your camp, you will also have a vendor. It's not available yet, but there will be a vendor, and then you can also buy new drinks and so on. Then you have the journal with the completed quests, the map with the quick travel option, of course. Then you have lots of lore for the different characters. You can check the, well, this is like the world map, but you're not traveling around on the world map, like you're not selecting which destination you're going to take. You can look into the notes you found so far. So yeah, definitely a lot to read if you want to. And you also got relations to your allies. I'm not quite sure what this is going to change. I think in the tutorial it said something like you get additional bonuses in combat or something, but you also get new conversations unlocked with them, so maybe you find out more about the skills. But because the game is so linear, you will probably come across all of them anyways, so it's not like... that's more speculation, but it's probably not like, okay, you're choosing to be friends with Marshall and Zara and you're going to decide against Francisco and Leon. You will probably just have everyone as friends, but progress normally through the story with them. And you can also check the last conversations here. So, we will leave the camp and then we will get into the next combat, and I will show you two more combats. But I will...
Hey, big guy. Something troubling you?
When you're around, always.
Try not to think so hard. It doesn't agree with you.
How about you? You doing all right?
I don't think any of us are. Times like these, all you can do is put on a brave face.
Hey, what about that Inquisitor lady, Michelle or Marcy or whoever?
Marshall. Come on, you can at least learn her name.
This must be hard for her, too. She went from a respected official to a fugitive in the span of a heartbeat. That's gotta be rough.
You think we can trust her?
Who knows? This play's got too many characters. How are a couple of country bumpkins supposed to keep it all straight? At the moment, I'm less worried about Marshall and more concerned about this General Isoro guy.
Why, we got beef with him?
Not that I know of. Just not excited for one more problem to keep an eye on.
Well, good thing you've got 6. I expect we'll frantically figure things out along the way, same as we always do.
So yeah, the dialogues are well made. Beside of this, what I mentioned before, this uncanny stuttering sometimes, which is like, maybe you saw these videos about this robot head with the skin on top, which is then like doing this real human animations and then opening, closing their eyes and so on, but it's still like this very instant movement, and that's sometimes how these characters are moving, and sometimes they are also are stuck with like the body. I saw this only once, stuck with the body and then only the head is moving, and this looks really odd. So in general it's looking fine. It's but you really need to be into this, be fine with that the story is kind of progressing alone, because these conversations, like in between the combat, this can go on for like, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, where you're basically as a player not doing anything and basically just consuming the interaction between the characters. So if you're not into that and you also don't want to skip that whole thing, then this might not be for you. But yeah, I mean, I showed you how this like conversation is going on now, so I will skip it. But just something very basic to the story without going into too much detail. You are basically this this guy
Sounds
here,
about right.
this Eden, and you are head of a mercenary group. And that mercenary group is approached by someone, and you should help this person. And by doing so, you got dragged into some revolution stuff. And then you join the revolutionists, and now you're on the way to the head of the revolution. And you kind of, from a mercenary, you kind of professionalize as a, like, becoming a soldier or a head of the movement and so on. So of course it's going into much more detail, but I don't want to spoil that much, and it's also, yeah, it's going into much detail. I don't want to just explain everything, and I also can't show you everything because that would take hours and hours. So yeah, we skip it now, and we will go into some fight. We are actually like backstabbed, we need to fight against some monsters. All monsters defeated. And this is like the pre-combat screen where we can also explore the map. And this is also something which is weird now. With WASD, you are not moving the camera around. Instead, you're moving the tile on the map. Again, this might be common for controllers, but this is definitely not common for mouse and keyboard control. So usually you would expect with WASD you pan the camera around, and this is also something which the developers are most likely to be changing. It's already on top of their list, so I expect that to be changed. So you see the enemies here, which are called Hellhounds. It's weird. They're also called Hellhounde in German, by the way. So in the German version of the game, it's not a German word, but it's, yeah, a bit weird. So this is like the pre-combat view, but you can't really do anything but just look around, which you can also do in the normal view. Ah yeah, by the way, I will show that later. Yeah, then you can, so explore, begin the battle. You can still go to the shop, manage, you can redistribute stuff. You can change the formation, though I warn you with that, because when I swapped places, this character I swapped or removed and set back was actually broken, so I could not control him. So I would probably not recommend to not do that for the moment. Obviously, that's something which needs to be fixed. And that's it already, so just begin the battle. So we need to defeat all monsters, but there's something special about that fight, because I will just skip that for now to show you the actual combat. And this is also something, this,
Let's go hunting.
You
swishing,
need to target their vulnerable points with the right kind of weapon.
attacking with a sword into the air. They use that as a very weird animation in dialogues to accentuate stuff, which in my eyes doesn't work. So it's further dragging the dialogues along, and they're saying, now we need to attack, and then it swooshes, the character like attacks into the air, and then it takes a second, and then the next character is answering again, and then he says something again, and back and forth, and then it's swishing into the air again. It's weird. So I think they should remove this, like, I think it's called accentuate, or like, yeah, this attacking into the air. This doesn't make too much sense to me. If they used it only once or twice here and there, but it's very, I saw that probably like 10 times in the first 5 hours or so. So it's, yeah. So what you can see here is that they actually have these two fields there. There is I think the difficulty is actually set to hard at the moment. Yeah, well, it's okay. I will just move the characters all towards that one enemy now so that I can demonstrate that better. The controls, by the way, are also a bit unconventional. Usually with most games, like King Arthur, for example, which I'm currently playing on my German Let's Play channel, usually you have right mouse button to move your characters. I think Command Conquer, Star, so you could see the enemy attacking. StarCraft and so on. Right mouse button is always movement and left mouse button is selection, and this is like the normal convention. But in this game, the controls are different. So instead, well, you still select a character with the left mouse button, but then you move with also using the left mouse button, and the right mouse button is always to deselect things. You can also pan the camera, not pan, turn the camera around with the right mouse button and change the angle, which I think in most games you do with the middle mouse button, which does nothing here. Well, you can of course zoom in and out, but pressing that is not doing anything. So back to the enemies here. So you can see there's, yeah, normally I would expect with Q and E that I could turn the camera, which I can't. Well, I can with right mouse button. I can actually drag the map with holding the left mouse button, but this is of course risky now. If I have that character selected, I could go here, but if I want to move the camera around, I would also press here, and then it's not ideal. Of course, I could also just undo the action, so maybe fine, but so again, there's this enemy, there are these two fields. You could see that if I go there and I attacked from that position, enemy would actually turn around. And this is important in that case, because these two fields are actually there for a reason. Who might have thought? So, if I attack this enemy on that side, because he is occupying 4 tiles, right? But if I attack that right on this tile with a sword, I actually do extra damage and kind of combo damage. You can see that now. It got a chain hit. So
remember what I said. Focus on the vulnerable points.
Yeah. So, and this is also they need to remove. After each attack, you get statistics about the experience you gained by that one attack, and that's just silly. And the enemy is also not attacking back if you're using one of the, again, vulnerable slots. And this is also something which drags out the combat. So same with the dialogues, but it's like this 1 second too much between each back and forth. With the combat, it's the experience gained and maybe some smaller things here and there which could be optimized to speed the whole thing up. Because a combat can also take a really long time if you if you are thorough here. So I would need to attack that again to do more damage. Actually, I can also swap the weapon with that character. He has an axe, so I go there. And you can see that these, compared to these fields, they are full and these are damaged, right? and you can hit each tile twice. So in total you can do 4 combo attacks. But as soon as I hit this the second time, well, it died now, but now this axe thing would have been gone and only the sword thing would be remaining. And here you can also see something else which is interesting. The enemy is, you can see this stream here. So the enemy, the next time it's the enemy's turn, it will attack this character. But if I put another character into its path, like this, actually, let's see what happens. So this was not a vulnerable position, right? So, and again, experience, right? So this one would still run towards that character. This is also something, like you can also scroll around by going to the edge. But this section here, where you have got the menu, it's not really working great. As soon as there's one more option or something, it might not work to scroll down. So that's also something which should probably be changed. So I just wanted to show you these enemies and this special like behavior with the with his combo attacks, which I think is an interesting way to make the combat, yeah, more engaging, more interesting. So we've got one character left. This one, I'll just move it there. I can also end the turn by, so you could see that this was what it showed us, and this is also what is done. So now you can see that, yeah, new enemies. These are randomly generated each turn, so they're also refreshing and changing. So now you've got a sword there and a book there, and now you can see this character is using magic, so we go there, use magic, light arrow, and attack there, and then it will turn around. And you can see our guard guys in the background. And again, experience. So now this guy with the sword is actually on that end and can hit again. And let's go. Ah, no, this was a mistake. He should go away. Can actually not do anything then. So we'll go there and attack with the sword here. And then the enemy will turn around yet again and face the book side towards that side. And you can see that this sword field is gone now because we already hit it twice. And now we hit that with a pillar of fire again. Exploded. So each time is doing more damage. And it's toast. Alright. So this was, you can see that stuttering here with the scrolling down, right? So this was the mechanic with the monsters, and you also saw that monsters are actually a part of the game. And now I will show you yet another fight against some human enemies. So before we get into the combat, I just want to show you that how much talking there is. So I already talked the whole camp to the whole camp, so that took quite a while. So I leave the camp now, confirm. Then it's chapter 5, the Proving Grounds. And then we will have a talk with field outside Castilian.
I
And
take it this is your
how we feel getting to the city and so on. I skip that. Now we meet the leader, and we're going to skip that. Then we meet some person outside.
Wow.
Actually, a couple of persons, and we skip that. Then we meet back with the leader, and again we skip that. And finally we go to
Yes.
this attack position thing, and we skip that again. And then we are in the actual battle. And this is still set to hard, so I will definitely die, but I will just show you how the mechanics work. I could just reduce the difficulty, but I can also show you how this is not working, and I recommend to play on normal instead. So begin the battle. Yes, confirm. So in theory you can also set up your characters here, but as I mentioned, this can cause a bug. And here in this case the mouth is not working, but yeah, I guess
That
that's...
doesn't sound like the fact that they're talking to us at all means that it would be
Right. So,
sorry.
No need to.
easier said than done.
Yeah, this is probably
Well,
still be
this-
fixed. See you again. Whoosh.
Focus on the gates. We'll break.
Yeah. So now we have got two archers there, and there's a gate we need to pass. And they will, because of the difficulty, they will kill us with just 2 shots. And they actually have 3 range, probably because they are on a high ground. So what we need to do is position our characters so that we can all attack at the same time, and we at least only get shot once. So I put the mage there. Actually, I can show you something else. And in this case, we can actually do less than this move. I can actually go into the menu, and as I mentioned, with right click I can undo a movement, but I can also undo the turn of that character, and I can even undo a turn by a character of the previous turn. So if it was the last action and then the enemies are doing their stuff, and then I think, okay, my last action was bad, I can reverse the enemy turn. So I undo that, and now the character is set back. Right. This is not helping though. I thought I could go there, which I can't, so in that case I will need to do the same thing again. Basically, I need to attack each of them 2 times within 1 turn. If I don't do that, the character is probably going to die. So we need to be very careful here. Keep everyone out of range. And this one was bad, so I can undo that again. I mean, I only have 5 times where I can do that. And this is also kind of unfortunate. I mean, yes, I can see that if I move that there, but I cannot see that he's attacking if I just go there. I can mouse over the enemy, but only if I unselect my character with the right mouse button. Then I mouse over the enemy, and I can also click on the enemy, and then I can see that. But it's, yeah, it's a bit weird. So at least all the information is available. It's just that how it's available or how it's used is a bit strange. So defend. That one is going there. Wait. Defend. And wait. And enemy didn't do anything because they would need to leave the thing. So what we are doing now is we're trying to kill these two. So I move forward. Now I switch the weapons down to bow and arrow. Every character has two sets of weapon. And then I attack the archer. But of course I will also be attacked back. Oh, critical. But it doesn't make a difference. You would have needed 2 attacks anyways. Only got 4 damage. So it could have been worse. So we go there, and now we need the fireball, for example, which I thought would have a range of... Ah, no. Okay, yeah, of course. The gust, that has a higher range, and so this guy is killed. And now we do the same with the next one. We switch the weapon to bow, go there, attack this one, get shot back. 5. I mean, they have some decent armor, so that's fine. Swap weapon. Now we need to go there so that we can also attack that guy from there. And he is also dead. But unfortunately, on the other side, we can't do anything yet, because this guy cannot be attacked with 2 characters. Maybe if I had positioned that one here, maybe then I would be able to go there. I will just test that, if that's possible in theory. The other ones, they need to stay here anyways. So, yeah. Now I can press escape and then say end turn. And this will also get us to the next turn. Your turn. So, yeah. We will first attack this guy. Going forward, swap weapon, attack. Each map is also time-based, so if we are taking too much time, we will also lose. Magic, light arrow. She only has light armor, so she will probably take a lot of damage. Damage. Well, that's okay. And going here. Attack. So this was basically to maximize or minimize the enemy attacks. Otherwise, they would have had a turn where they could shoot at my characters. This way, they didn't have that. So, next up, we need to breach that gate. And we can also see we are in turn 3 already. So, how do we open that? Well, let's switch to the weapon again, which I in theory don't need to. But we can use the ram gate option. And I can select the gate, and then this will magically appear and they will ram it. So yeah, you can imagine that we are just the heroes and there's like tons of people all around us. They're just not controlled or displayed. So this is an abstract version of the card, of the map. So again, swap weapon. Swap weapon just so that we have some bonuses when the enemies are starting attacking us. The gate has 5 hit points though, so... defense. And going here. Wait. So, next turn. Open the gate. Ram gate. Ram gate. And as soon as we open the gate, we have two enemies which will attack us. Ram gate. By the way, you can't change the weapon anymore after you finish the turn. And this will also...
The gate! The castle gate has been breached!
And again, swoosh.
Everyone, charge!
What are you doing standing around? Stop them!
So we can't move these anymore, but we can see that both of these guys will attack my main character, and as soon as the main character is dead, we lose the fight, I think. And if you play on Iron Man, this character will actually be permanently lost, and then you have to be able to continue without that character. Main characters will still be part of the story though, so the story will go on with that character, but you will not be able to use it in combat anymore. So I can show you something else, because that character is wounded, so I can go into the inventory and use a potion. So got a few hit points back. And yeah, that's all I want to do now. So I use end turn in here. I could also wait with that character, but yeah. Of course, not both of them will be able to attack my character, because there can only be one in front of the character, and they cannot... So 14 damage with one hit. This was Leon though, that was not the main character. I thought it was the main one. Yeah, you also get a XP when getting attacked. And there's a mage. So yeah, this one is almost dead actually. So if we decide to attack that one, we will basically kill our own character. So that's probably not a good idea. So we should... This one actually also has an axe, so it might make sense to go forward and try to kill someone with him first. Or actually, let's not do that. We will use this mage first. He uses a Tempest Gust to hurt this one. Because your attack is always going first. So if you attack with melee as a second, your melee will not be being hit back. So now he is dead. And we will try the same here. So we use that archer as first attack. And then we use this one as second. And yes, he is almost dead. But because actually the enemy was able to defend. But we can cheat a bit now. We can cheat death by undoing the action. So I don't know if we did that again, actually we can undo it again, right? So let's just try our luck now. Because in theory, we can... Okay, that's a bit... maybe not so optimal. So you can either have a block, you can have a normal hit or a critical strike actually. And you can push your luck by repeating that. Of course you're sacrificing an undo option for that, but still. Now I'm using a healing spell to heal him, because otherwise this one will definitely die. Might still die with this 17 hit points. And I'm moving forward. Maybe I can even protect that one. But this is my main... Actually, I don't want to sacrifice my main character. So let's do that. Defend. And that's all we can do for now. Wait. Actually, swap weapon. Okay. And defend. So we can't do anything more now. We will be attacked by this guy, and this guy. We will probably lose someone, like this one. But there's nothing we can do about that. So we just finish the turn and probably lose the first character this turn. So yeah, I have no idea how you would be able to do that on high difficulty with Iron Man. You will... Actually, this was my main character, right? Yeah, so he's dead and we lost the fight. Game over. Alright. I mean, we can undo and can decide for something else, but I think that's a good point to end this preview. I think this is a very promising game. Has yeah, I mean, the whole setup is... It's a professionally made game. Everything looks fine, but also everything needs a little bit of adjustment to get better. My main issues, I think, are that the combat and the dialogues, they drag on for too long. They are not engaging enough, and which might just be might be improved by just like these tiny adjustments that might make it much smoother. And I think the interface might be a major issue for me, which needs to be improved, which includes the camp interface. And with that, I have my doubts that it will be changed, because that would probably need a whole interface revamp, and not just different key bindings or anything like that. So that might still be an issue with like finding new items and reassigning them to your characters. That might become a bit tedious. But yeah, that was Lost Eidolon by Ocean Drive Studio. And I can actually also restart battle, just so that we got a little bit music. So, as I mentioned, release is scheduled for Q3 in 2022. You can download the demo and have a look yourself. You will find the download link down in the video description. If you're interested in that game, then it might also help the developer if you just add it to your wish list. I think that helps with some promo stuff, and yeah, it's probably helping the developer to get the ball rolling. And yeah, that's it from me for today for this preview of Lost Eidolon. As I mentioned, the demo, I think, will only be available until the 20th of June, so make sure to check that out until then if you want to. And with that, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.